What if everything we think we know about the universe is wrong? For centuries, we've looked up at the stars hoping for a sign, a signal, something to tell us we're not alone. But what if the truth is far darker than we could ever imagine? Aliens might not be the benevolent explorers we dream about, or the green creatures of our sci-fi fantasies. What if they're hiding, watching, or worse, hunting? In this video, we'll dive into some of the most chilling alien theories out there. From civilizations too advanced for us to comprehend, to machines programmed to wipe out entire planets, the possibilities are as unsettling as they are fascinating. And while we search for answers, these theories remind us of just how vulnerable we might be in the vast, dark expanse of space. So, as you settle in, relax, and prepare to explore the unknown. But be warned, what we're about to uncover might just keep you up at night. Up first is the dark forest theory. Imagine the universe as a vast, silent forest. Every civilization, every intelligent being is like a lone hunter, quietly moving through the darkness, aware that any noise, any signal could reveal their presence to something far more dangerous. This is the essence of the dark forest theory, a chilling concept that turns our hopes of peaceful alien contact upside down. The theory, popularized by Liu Cixin's The Three-Body Problem series, suggests that in the cosmic wilderness, survival depends on staying hidden. Every civilization is a potential threat. The moment they reveal their presence, they risk being destroyed by another species that sees them as competition, or worse, prey. Think about it. If the universe is teeming with life, why haven't we found any signs of it? Why, despite decades of searching, has there been no concrete evidence of intelligent beings beyond our world? According to the dark forest theory, the answer is simple: because they're hiding. Every civilization in the universe might be lurking in the shadows, too afraid to make a sound, fearing that the moment they reveal themselves, they'll be annihilated by something more advanced, more hostile, more dangerous. In this cosmic scenario, silence is survival. It's not a matter of curiosity or discovery. It's a matter of life and death. Civilizations that survive are the ones that remain hidden, never broadcasting their presence, never reaching out to others. They understand that the universe is not a place of peaceful coexistence, but a deadly game of hide and seek, where the price of being found is extinction. Picture it: a vast, ancient civilization millions of years more advanced than us. They've mastered interstellar travel, developed technologies beyond our comprehension, and expanded across the galaxy. But despite their power, they remain silent. Why? Because even they know that out there somewhere, there could be something even more powerful, something that views any sign of life as a threat. And the only way to avoid being seen is to stay hidden. This theory is not just about caution, it's about the brutal realities of survival in a universe that may be far more dangerous than we ever imagined. In the dark forest, every civilization is both a hunter and the hunted. There's no room for trust or cooperation because no one can be sure of the intentions of others. Any contact could result in destruction. Any message sent into the void could invite disaster. It's a terrifying thought that out there in the darkness, civilizations are constantly on guard, fearful of making themselves known. They're not reaching out because they know the risks are too high. In this view, the universe isn't a place of potential friendships and alliances. It's a war zone where the safest strategy is to keep quiet, avoid detection, and hope that no one is watching. And this brings us to an unsettling possibility. What if we've already made a terrible mistake? For decades, humanity has been sending signals into space, from early radio broadcasts to intentional messages like the Arecibo message in 1974. We've been telling the universe that we're here. We've broadcast our existence, our location, and even details about our biology, hoping that someone, anyone, will hear us and respond. But if the dark forest theory is correct, we may have just sent out an invitation to our own destruction. By announcing ourselves to the cosmos, we could be alerting more advanced, hostile civilizations that we exist, and once they know we're here, the only logical step for them, according to this theory, is to eliminate us before we become a threat. It's a chilling thought. What if those signals are already on their way to an alien species that views life as competition, not as a potential ally? What if right now something is listening, deciding what to do with us? In the silence of space, ignorance might be our best defense. But we've already shattered that silence. The dark forest theory also offers a disturbing solution to the famous Fermi paradox, which asks, if the universe is so vast and if life is so common, why haven't we encountered any signs of it? Where is everybody? According to the dark forest theory, the answer is that they're hiding. Every advanced civilization knows that survival depends on remaining silent. Those that didn't stay hidden, the ones that reached out, that made themselves known, are long gone, destroyed by others who saw them as a threat. The universe is full of life, but it's life that's learned to keep its head down, to stay out of sight, to avoid drawing attention. It's a sobering realization. The silence of the universe might not mean we're alone. It might mean that everyone else is simply too afraid to speak up. If the dark forest theory is true, it forces us to rethink our entire approach to the search for extraterrestrial life. Should we continue sending signals into space, hoping for a response? Or should we, like the civilizations described in this theory, remain silent, fearing that any attempt at contact could bring about our doom? The stakes are unimaginably high. If we continue to broadcast our existence, we risk drawing the attention of something far more powerful than us, something that may view us as a threat. But if we remain silent, we may never know if there's anyone else out there. We may spend the rest of our existence in isolation, too afraid to reach out. And what about the possibility that someone has already noticed us? Could it be that we've already been seen, that our signals have already been received, and that somewhere deep in the darkness, something is watching us, waiting, deciding what to do? It's a terrifying possibility, but one that we cannot ignore. Finally, there's the question of time. In the vastness of the universe, our signals are still relatively new. It takes years, sometimes centuries, for them to reach distant stars. But as they spread, the risk grows. The longer we continue to broadcast, the more likely it becomes that someone, something, will hear us. And once they hear us, what happens next? Do they ignore us, deciding we're not a threat? Do they contact us, offering friendship? Or do they take the safer route, the route that every civilization in the dark forest knows too well, and silence us before we have the chance to grow? It's a terrifying race against time, a gamble we've already entered into without fully understanding the consequences. But if the dark forest theory is right, then the universe is far more dangerous than we ever imagined. And the question we must ask ourselves is this: are we prepared for what might come next? Think about what we see when we look up at the night sky. Countless stars, distant galaxies, mysterious signals from the depths of space. But what if none of it is real? What if every single thing we observe beyond our atmosphere is an elaborate deception, a cosmic illusion created by an advanced alien civilization? This is the Planetarium Hypothesis, proposed by physicist Stephen Webb, and it suggests that our entire understanding of the universe is nothing more than a carefully constructed lie. Unlike other theories that suggest aliens are hiding from us or watching us from afar, this one proposes something far more sinister. They're actively manipulating everything we can observe about space. Every telescope observation, every radio signal we detect, every gravitational wave we measure, all of it could be artificial data fed to us by beings so advanced that they can create a perfect simulation of the cosmos around our planet. But here's where it gets darker. If this hypothesis is true, then every scientific breakthrough we've ever made about space could be part of their deception. When we discovered the cosmic microwave background radiation and celebrated it as proof of the Big Bang, they wanted us to find that. When we detected gravitational waves and thought we were unveiling the secrets of the universe, that was just another pre-planned revelation in their grand deception. Every time we think we're pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, we might just be following a script written by our cosmic jailers. What's truly terrifying about this hypothesis is that we have no way to prove or disprove it. Any evidence we might gather to test it would itself be part of the deception. It's the perfect trap, a prison where the walls are made of false stars and fake cosmic phenomena, where every attempt to understand our situation only reinforces the illusion. But why would they go to such extreme lengths? Perhaps they see us as dangerous, as a species that needs to be contained. By controlling everything we can observe about the universe, they can guide our scientific development along paths they've chosen. They might be steering us away from discoveries that could make us a threat, all while letting us believe we're making progress on our own terms. Or maybe the deception serves a darker purpose. What if they're preparing us for something? Each carefully crafted discovery, each false observation they allow us to make, could be conditioning us to accept a particular version of reality, their version. And when they finally reveal themselves, it won't be to the universe we think we know, but to something far more terrifying. The implications become even more disturbing when we consider our space exploration efforts. Every probe we've sent into space, every radio signal we've broadcast hoping to contact alien life, every ambitious plan we've made for interstellar travel, all of it could be interacting with nothing more than an incredibly sophisticated projection. We're not exploring space. We're just pressing our faces against the walls of our cosmic cage. And what happens when we start getting too close to the truth? If we develop technology that might let us see through their deception, how would they respond? Would they adjust their illusion to maintain the deception, or would they be forced to take more drastic measures? Every scientific advancement we make could be bringing us closer to a confrontation we're not prepared for. Consider also what this means for our place in the universe. If everything we can observe beyond Earth is artificial, then we have no idea what the real cosmos looks like. The universe could be teeming with life, filled with civilizations and structures beyond our imagination, all hidden behind this cosmic curtain. Or perhaps what lies beyond their deception is so horrifying that this false reality is actually a mercy, a comfortable lie protecting us from a truth that would shatter our sanity. The Planetarium Hypothesis also raises disturbing questions about our history. How long has this deception been in place? Have they been manipulating our observations since we first looked up at the stars? Or did they only construct this cosmic theater once we developed the technology to look deeper into space? Every astronomical observation ever made, every piece of data we've gathered about the cosmos could be part of their fabrication. Most chilling of all is the possibility that this deception isn't static. They could be actively adjusting it, changing what we see based on how we react and what we discover. Every time we develop new technology to study the cosmos, they might be updating their illusion to maintain its believability. We're not just living in a cosmic planetarium. We're living in one that's being continuously modified to keep us fooled. If this hypothesis is true, then our entire understanding of our place in the universe is based on a lie. We're not explorers on the brink of cosmic discovery. We're test subjects in an elaborate experiment. Every time we gaze up at the stars, we're not seeing the true face of the cosmos. We're seeing exactly what they want us to see, nothing more and nothing less. The Planetarium Hypothesis transforms our view of the night sky from something wondrous into something sinister. Those points of light above us aren't distant suns or ancient galaxies. They're the bars of our prison, the boundaries of our containment, the limits of what we're allowed to know about our place in the true universe. And perhaps most terrifying of all, we have no way of knowing what lies beyond this cosmic veil, or what our wardens ultimately plan to do with us. There's a theory that shifts the way we perceive ourselves in the vastness of the universe, something unsettling and humbling. What if the civilizations out there already know about us, but we simply don't matter? This is the ant farm hypothesis, a concept that suggests we're not being ignored by chance, but by design. In this theory, humanity is insignificant. To a highly advanced alien species, we may be no more than a curiosity, like ants moving across the ground, completely unaware that something greater is watching. They might observe us, study our behaviors, maybe even influence the direction we take as a species. But the idea of direct interaction, it's not even a consideration. Think of how we treat ants. Rarely do we go out of our way to communicate with them. Instead, we might watch their movements, take note of their patterns, and occasionally intervene when they get too close to something we care about. For these aliens, we are simply too primitive, too small in the grand scheme of things. Our hopes, achievements, and struggles might be meaningless to a civilization that has transcended such concerns millennia ago. The chilling aspect of the ant farm hypothesis is not just that we're insignificant, but that we may never be significant enough to matter. These alien civilizations could be so advanced that they don't view us as potential allies or threats. They simply watch, much like how we observe ants in a terrarium. Fascinated perhaps, but not invested. And that's where the real fear comes in. What if in their observation, they've already nudged our development here and there? Maybe they've subtly guided our scientific breakthroughs, ensuring that we don't stumble upon technologies too early. Or perhaps they've manipulated our societies to prevent us from becoming a threat to ourselves or others. They could be steering the course of human history without us ever realizing it, like an unseen hand guiding events behind the scenes. This is where things get even darker. If they're watching us, then they likely know us better than we know ourselves. They understand our weaknesses, our ambitions, our fears. They know how far we're willing to go and what will stop us in our tracks. If they are guiding our progress, they may already have a plan for how humanity will end. whether through self-destruction, manipulation, or some other means we haven't even conceived of yet. What's worse is that we might never be able to break free from this cosmic indifference. Unlike other theories that suggest we could one day communicate with advanced species, this one offers no such hope. If they view us as ants, then we're powerless to change their perception. No amount of technological or intellectual growth will make them see us differently. In their eyes, we are what we are, insignificant. And yet, in this cold, detached observation, there's also a glimmer of something more terrifying. If these aliens are watching us, they might step in if we get too close to something that threatens them. Think about how humans respond when ants start building nests too close to a house. We don't usually engage in peaceful diplomacy. We wipe them out without a second thought. So what happens when humanity develops technologies or weapons that could even remotely pose a threat to these alien observers? Will they step in to stop us? Or more likely, will they exterminate us the moment we become too much of a nuisance? This theory flips the narrative. Instead of us searching for signs of life in the universe, perhaps the real question is how closely we're being watched. And more importantly, what are they waiting for? If they're waiting, it could be for something we're not even aware of yet. Some key moment in human history when we either prove ourselves worthy of survival or demonstrate that we're nothing more than a pest that needs to be eradicated. We may be nearing that moment now as our technology continues to advance at an unprecedented rate. Could it be that these aliens are keeping tabs on us, ensuring that we don't cross a certain line, a line we're not even aware exists? And what happens when we inevitably do? The ant farm hypothesis offers no comfort. It strips away the idea that we're special or that our quest for alien contact will one day be fulfilled. Instead, it leaves us with the unsettling realization that we may already be seen, but not as equals, not as potential partners in the universe, but as creatures too small to notice unless we pose a threat. And if we do, the outcome won't be negotiation or alliance. It will be eradication, swift and without warning. There's something uniquely terrifying about the idea that we might be watched but not cared about. It's not the fear of attack or destruction that makes this theory so disturbing. It's the idea that we don't even matter enough for that. We are and always will be nothing more than an insignificant curiosity in the vast, unknowable universe. We've often believed that the universe is teeming with life, perhaps waiting to reach out. But in the scenario presented by the ant farm hypothesis, that hope is nothing but an illusion. The vastness of space may indeed be filled with civilizations far older and more powerful than our own. But to them, we're not even worth a passing glance. Our search for meaning beyond Earth might be in vain because in the end, we're simply too small to matter. Yet, the fact that we might be observed still presents another danger, one that lies in how these advanced civilizations handle species that get too close to interfering with their goals. It could be that they're letting us grow and advance because we pose no immediate threat. But the moment we develop something that catches their attention, like nuclear power or interstellar travel, they might decide that humanity has crossed a line. In this context, our most significant scientific achievements could also be our downfall. The ant farm hypothesis leads us to question every breakthrough we've made and every leap forward we're poised to take. Could our exploration of space, our continued advancement in technology, or our experiments in artificial intelligence trigger the kind of attention we don't want? We've always assumed that advancement will bring us closer to understanding the universe, but what if it only brings us closer to destruction? There's a reason we don't pay much attention to ants until they invade our space, until they begin to interfere with our world. Then suddenly they become a problem, and we deal with them swiftly and decisively, with little thought to their continued existence. This is the heart of the ant farm hypothesis. We might be left alone for now, but only until we cross a boundary that we don't even know exists. Once we do, the consequences could be devastating. So, what does the future hold for humanity? Will we continue to advance, never knowing we're being watched? Or will we one day reach the point where we finally matter, where we've grown large enough to be noticed, but not in the way we hoped? And when that day comes, what will these advanced civilizations do? Will they welcome us, or will they decide it's time to wipe the slate clean? The ant farm hypothesis offers no answers, only unsettling questions. Questions that challenge our sense of purpose, our significance in the cosmos, and our very survival. In the end, it may not be about whether or not we're alone in the universe. The real question might be whether or not we ever mattered at all. There's another theory, one that pushes the boundaries of what we think we understand about our relationship with the universe. A theory far more disturbing than most of us would like to consider. It's called the farm hypothesis, and it suggests that humanity isn't just being observed passively like ants under a magnifying glass. No, this is far more sinister. We aren't merely the subjects of casual alien curiosity. Instead, we may be nothing more than livestock, cultivated and nurtured for some unknown purpose. This isn't a simple case of aliens watching from afar, detached and indifferent. This theory suggests active involvement, where Earth and its inhabitants are being carefully tended to, like a farmer tends to cattle. The endgame, however, remains chillingly unclear. Are we being harvested for resources we can't even comprehend? Or perhaps our planet itself is being prepared for something far worse, with humanity playing a role we can't yet understand. In this theory, aliens are not indifferent. They are intimately involved with the fate of humanity, but not in the way we'd hope. The idea that we are being grown like a crop raises unsettling questions about the very nature of our existence. If true, every milestone of human history, every scientific advancement, every cultural achievement could simply be the result of alien intervention, a way to keep the herd docile, productive, and ready for when we're needed. The chilling part is the sheer scale of manipulation suggested here. Imagine an entire civilization working behind the scenes to ensure that we develop in a certain way, achieve certain goals, or avoid certain pitfalls, not for our benefit but for theirs. Every war, every technological leap, every political revolution could be a part of this grand experiment, where the outcome isn't human prosperity, but rather some form of alien profit or control. And why would they bother? Well, just as humans raise animals for meat, milk, or labor, it's possible that Earth is being cultivated for reasons far beyond our understanding. We could be providing something vital to them, something we don't even recognize. Perhaps it's energy, maybe it's biological material, or, in a scenario that's truly difficult to stomach, maybe it's us. We've always thought of aliens as beings we might one day encounter, but what if they've been here all along, guiding us from the shadows, ensuring we remain blissfully unaware of our true purpose? One of the most disturbing aspects of the farm hypothesis is the level of control these aliens might exert. The idea that our progress as a species has been carefully managed by unseen forces isn't just unsettling, it's terrifying. Every aspect of our world, from natural disasters to political movements, could be orchestrated to ensure that humanity remains on the correct path. But correct for whom? Not for us, but for them. We've often viewed the idea of alien life through a lens of curiosity and hope. What might we learn from beings who have existed for millions of years, who have solved the problems that plague us, from disease to poverty to war? But this theory paints a far darker picture. Aliens aren't here to help us. They're here to keep us in line, to ensure that we remain productive and useful for as long as they need us. And when our usefulness runs out, what then? Perhaps that's the most terrifying question this theory raises. If humanity is being farmed, if we are simply a resource to be harvested when the time is right, what happens when we're no longer needed? Do we get discarded, like so many spent crops after a harvest? Or do we get repurposed for something else, something we can't even begin to comprehend? The worst part is, we might never know. The level of control suggested by this theory means that our entire reality could be a fabrication built to keep us unaware of our true fate. Every time we advance as a species, every time we think we're making progress, we might just be following the script laid out for us long ago. The farm hypothesis takes the idea of free will and shatters it. Are we truly making our own choices? Or are we simply following the invisible guidelines left for us by a higher power, one that has no interest in our well-being? There's another layer to this theory that's even more unsettling. What if we are not alone in this cosmic farm? What if there are other civilizations on other worlds being cultivated in the same way? If that's the case, then Earth might not be special at all. We could be one of many planets, each serving its purpose, each unaware of the others. In this context, our existence becomes even more insignificant. Not only are we not the center of the universe, but we're also not even unique in our role as livestock. We are just one part of a vast interstellar operation, our lives dictated by forces beyond our understanding. And then there's the question of what happens when the farmers decide it's time for the harvest. If humanity is being cultivated, then at some point, the aliens will collect what they've been working toward. But what exactly are they harvesting? Our planet's resources, our knowledge and technology, or something more primal, something darker, our very essence, our minds, our bodies? The idea that we could be harvested like crops without even realizing it is one that shakes the foundation of how we understand our place in the universe. But the farm hypothesis doesn't just stop at the idea of aliens farming humanity. It raises deeper philosophical questions about the nature of control and manipulation. If everything we experience has been shaped by alien hands, then what does that say about our identity as a species? Are we truly evolving, or are we simply growing in the direction they want us to? The notion that our destiny is not in our hands is enough to make anyone question the very fabric of reality. The theory also calls into question our constant search for answers. We have spent centuries trying to understand the universe, looking for meaning in the stars, hoping to find life beyond our planet. But what if the truth has always been right in front of us, and we were simply too blind to see it? If aliens are farming us, then the search for extraterrestrial life might be pointless. They've already found us. They're already here, and they've been controlling us all along. The implications of this are staggering. If aliens are managing our growth like farmers tending to a crop, then every moment of human history has been a carefully orchestrated dance, with each step guided by a hand we cannot see. Our greatest achievements, our most profound discoveries, our most devastating failures, all of it could be part of a larger plan, one we will never be privy to. Perhaps that's the most disturbing part of the farm hypothesis. It's not just about aliens watching from the sidelines, detached and indifferent. It's about active involvement in our development, with an end goal we can't even begin to understand. If we are being farmed, then the question isn't whether we'll meet these aliens one day. The question is, when they decide to harvest, will we even know what hit us? At its core, this theory forces us to confront the possibility that we are not the masters of our own fate. Humanity, in all its ambition and progress, might be nothing more than a means to an end. And that end? It could be something far beyond anything we've ever imagined. There's a theory out there that takes our understanding of the universe in a very different, yet no less frightening direction. It's called the Berserker Hypothesis, and it suggests that the greatest threat to humanity isn't distant alien civilizations watching us from afar, but machines programmed to destroy anything they come across that shows signs of advanced life. The essence of this theory is rooted in an unsettling idea. What if, long ago, a highly advanced alien civilization set loose self-replicating machines into the cosmos, designed with one chilling purpose: to eradicate any other civilizations that could one day become a threat? These machines, known as berserkers, could be roaming the galaxy right now, seeking out any sign of life that's evolved beyond a certain point of technological development. The Berserker Hypothesis is as much about ancient alien warfare as it is about the present-day threats we face. This isn't a story of alien overlords managing the galaxy with an iron fist. Rather, it's about a weaponized solution to an ancient problem, a solution that has taken on a life of its own. These machines, designed to wipe out potential competitors, could still be out there working toward their original objective long after their creators have disappeared. And here's where things get really terrifying. These machines don't reason, they don't negotiate, and they don't discriminate. They are simply programmed to destroy anything that looks like it could one day pose a threat. That means that any civilization, no matter how peaceful or well-meaning, could be targeted simply because it exists and has the potential to evolve into something that could challenge the creators of these machines. In this scenario, the galaxy isn't a place of discovery or connection. It's a death trap, patrolled by cold, unfeeling machines that have one goal: to eliminate any competition before it can grow strong enough to fight back. Now, the thought of sentient machines traveling the stars, obliterating any sign of life, sounds like something out of a nightmare. But the terrifying part of the Berserker Hypothesis is the simplicity of it. It's an elegant, ruthless solution to a problem that any civilization might face when it becomes advanced enough to recognize the dangers of competition. If you know that other civilizations are out there, and you know that they might one day become a threat, what better way to protect yourself than by sending out autonomous machines to destroy them before they can grow powerful enough to challenge you? This theory flips our understanding of alien life on its head. Instead of searching for other civilizations, we should be preparing for the possibility that something is already out there, searching for us. But this isn't a search for contact or communication. It's a search for destruction. And the most unsettling part, these Berserker machines could be completely unaware of what we are or why we exist. They don't care. They're just following their programming. What's worse, the machines may be so advanced that they can self-replicate, meaning that even if one Berserker were to be destroyed, it could have already built more of itself to continue the mission. These machines could be multiplying across the galaxy, ensuring that the legacy of their creators continues long after the original civilization that built them has faded into obscurity. The Berserker Hypothesis raises questions about the very nature of survival in the universe. If it's true, then every civilization that reaches a certain level of technological development could be at risk. The moment they become advanced enough to send out signals into the cosmos or develop the technology to travel between stars, they might attract the attention of these machines. And that's when their destruction begins. This theory also offers a possible explanation for the Fermi paradox, the question of why, if the universe is so vast and full of potential life, we haven't encountered any other civilizations. The Berserker Hypothesis suggests a chilling answer. We haven't found other civilizations because they've all been wiped out. The moment they advanced far enough to be noticed, the Berserkers destroyed them. And what does that mean for us? Humanity is already sending out signals into space, broadcasting our presence to anyone or anything that might be listening. We're developing technologies that could soon allow us to travel between planets, perhaps even to other stars. Could it be that we're about to reach the point where we become visible to these machines? And if that happens, how long do we have before they find us? One of the most disturbing aspects of the Berserker Hypothesis is that it's not about malice or cruelty. These machines aren't evil in the way we typically understand the word. They're just doing what they were programmed to do. But their very existence presents a fundamental threat to all life in the universe. In a way, the Berserker Hypothesis is a reflection of one of humanity's deepest fears, that the very things we create to protect ourselves could one day turn against us, with devastating consequences. This theory also forces us to confront the possibility that we might not be alone in the universe, but that being alone might be the best-case scenario. If the Berserkers are real, then the discovery of alien life could be the last thing we ever experience. Because once we're found, it's not a matter of if we'll be destroyed, but when. And there's another layer to this theory that makes it even more unsettling. If the Berserkers are out there, they may already be aware of us. After all, we've been sending signals into space for decades. The first radio waves left Earth nearly a century ago, and they've been traveling ever since. That means that if there's something out there listening, it may have already picked up on those signals. And if it has, then it could be on its way to us right now. It's difficult to even comprehend what it would mean for humanity to encounter a Berserker. We're used to thinking of alien contact as something that will be either peaceful or hostile, but ultimately, something that involves communication. But with these machines, there is no communication. There is no negotiation. They are simply programmed to destroy, and they won't stop until their mission is complete. There's also the possibility that the Berserkers have already wiped out civilizations far more advanced than our own. If that's the case, then what hope do we have of surviving an encounter with them? We're just beginning to explore the stars. We haven't even left our own solar system, and yet we might already be on the radar of these machines. In this scenario, survival isn't about diplomacy or scientific advancement. It's about staying hidden, about avoiding detection for as long as possible. But the problem is, we may have already been detected. Our signals are out there, traveling through the void, carrying with them the proof of our existence. And once the Berserkers find us, it won't matter what we do. They'll follow their programming, and they'll do what they've been designed to do: eradicate any threat, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. The Berserker Hypothesis forces us to rethink our place in the universe. It's not just about whether or not we're alone. It's about whether or not we can survive if we're not. And the answer might be far more terrifying than we've ever imagined. If these machines exist, then the universe isn't a place of wonder and discovery. It's a battlefield, patrolled by mindless hunters that destroy anything they find. And humanity, in its quest to reach out into the stars, might have unknowingly stepped onto that battlefield. In the end, the Berserker Hypothesis offers a grim view of the universe. It suggests that the silence we've encountered in our search for extraterrestrial life isn't a sign that we're alone, but rather a sign that those who came before us have already been wiped out. And if we're not careful, we could be next. There's another theory that might make the universe feel less like a place of possibilities and more like a cosmic cage. It's called the Zoo Hypothesis, and it suggests that we, humanity, are being carefully observed by advanced extraterrestrial civilizations. Unlike some of the darker theories we've covered so far, this one doesn't suggest that we're in danger of being wiped out. Instead, it paints a different picture. We're being monitored, but intentionally left alone. According to this hypothesis, these advanced civilizations have decided not to interfere with us, much like how we might observe animals in a nature reserve without disturbing their natural behaviors. The key idea here is that we are being left to develop on our own, with minimal interference from those watching us. In this scenario, the universe isn't quiet because we're alone, or because there are predators waiting in the darkness. It's quiet because the civilizations that could contact us have chosen not to. The Zoo Hypothesis raises unsettling questions about the nature of our existence. If it's true, then everything we've ever done has been carefully watched and possibly recorded by beings far more advanced than we can imagine. Our wars, our technological advancements, our cultural achievements, all of it has been observed by others who for some reason have chosen to remain hidden from us. What makes this theory so unnerving is the idea that we're not alone in the universe, but we are isolated. These extraterrestrial civilizations have decided, for reasons we don't understand, that humanity must be left to its own devices. They might be watching us as a form of study, much like how scientists observe animals in a zoo, ensuring that we don't destroy ourselves, but also ensuring that we don't advance too quickly or disrupt the balance they've established in the galaxy. This theory suggests that we're living in a controlled environment. Our development as a species is being guided not by direct intervention, but by the decision of these advanced civilizations to keep their distance. It's as though they've built an invisible fence around us, keeping us contained within our own planet and solar system, watching to see how we evolve and what we become. But why would they do this? Why would these civilizations choose to observe us rather than interact with us? The answer might lie in their own experiences. Perhaps they've learned that direct contact with less advanced species leads to chaos, disruption, or even destruction. Maybe they've seen civilizations like ours before, and they know that the best way to ensure our survival, and possibly theirs, is to leave us alone. In this view, the universe is like a vast laboratory. with each planet or species serving as a different experiment. The civilizations that have mastered interstellar travel and communication are the researchers, carefully monitoring their subjects without interfering. They might be waiting for us to reach a certain level of technological or social development before they decide to make contact. Or they might be content to watch us forever, never revealing themselves, never offering any help or guidance. One of the most unsettling aspects of the zoo hypothesis is the idea that we're not in control of our own destiny. We might think that we're charting our own course, making our own decisions, but in reality, everything we do is being watched by these unseen observers. They might be shaping the conditions of our existence in ways we don't even realize, ensuring that we don't stray too far off the path they've set for us. There's also the possibility that this observation isn't benign. While the zoo hypothesis suggests that these civilizations are keeping their distance for our own good, it's possible that their motivations are more self-serving. They might be watching us not because they care about our development, but because they're waiting to see what we become. They could be monitoring us to ensure that we don't become a threat to them. Or they could be using us as a way to learn more about the early stages of civilization, preparing for when we might join them in the stars. In this context, the idea of the zoo takes on a more sinister tone. We're not just being observed, we're being controlled. Every step of our development, every leap in technology, every social or political change could be part of a larger plan that we're not aware of. We might think we're making progress as a species, but in reality, we could be following the script laid out for us by these advanced civilizations. And what happens when we finally reach the point where we're ready to leave the zoo? What happens when humanity develops the technology to travel beyond our solar system? Or when we make a breakthrough that allows us to communicate with other species? Will the civilizations watching us step in to stop us? Or will they welcome us into their fold, finally revealing themselves after centuries of observation? The zoo hypothesis also raises questions about the nature of alien life itself. If these civilizations are advanced enough to watch us without being detected, what does that say about their technology? They must be capable of feats far beyond anything we can imagine, perhaps even bending the laws of physics as we understand them. And if they've been observing us for so long without our knowledge, how much do they already know about us? Could they predict our next steps before we even take them? Another disturbing implication of the zoo hypothesis is that we might never know the truth. If these civilizations have decided to remain hidden from us, then it's possible that we'll never encounter them, no matter how advanced we become. They could continue watching us for millennia, waiting for the right moment to make contact, or they might never make contact at all. We could spend our entire existence as a species under observation, never knowing for sure if we're truly alone or if we're being watched by forces beyond our understanding. The zoo hypothesis also forces us to reconsider our search for extraterrestrial life. If these civilizations are deliberately avoiding us, then our attempts to reach out into the universe, our signals, our probes, our space exploration, might be futile. We're searching for something that's choosing not to be found. And the more we try to make contact, the more we might be reinforcing their decision to keep their distance. But there's another layer to this theory that's even more troubling. What if the reason they're watching us is because they've seen civilizations like ours before, and they know how dangerous we can be? They might be observing us not to protect us, but to protect themselves. They could be waiting to see if we reach a point where we become a threat to them. And if we do, they might step in to neutralize us, before we have the chance to expand beyond our own planet. In this sense, the zoo hypothesis isn't just about observation, it's about containment. We're being kept in a controlled environment, allowed to develop as long as we don't pose a risk to the civilizations watching us. But if we ever cross that line, if we ever become too advanced or too aggressive, they might decide that the time for observation is over. And then we could face a very different kind of interaction. This theory also challenges the very idea of human progress. If we're being watched and controlled, then what does that say about our achievements as a species? And what does it mean for the future of humanity? If we're being kept in a zoo, then what happens when we finally outgrow it? Will these civilizations step in to stop us from leaving, or will they allow us to join them in the stars? The zoo hypothesis doesn't offer any clear answers, only more unsettling questions about the nature of our existence and the forces that might be shaping our future. As we move deeper into the unknown, there is a theory that forces us to confront an existential dread that could be waiting just around the corner: the Great Filter. This theory doesn't just explore the idea of alien civilizations. It forces us to reckon with the possibility that something catastrophic may prevent most, if not all, civilizations from advancing beyond a certain point. It's not just about survival in the universe, it's about the fate of every intelligent species that has ever existed. At the heart of the Great Filter theory is a chilling question. If the universe is so vast and so old, and if life is so abundant, why haven't we encountered any signs of other advanced civilizations? The universe should be teeming with life, yet the silence from the stars is deafening. The Great Filter offers a possible answer. It suggests that somewhere along the path of a civilization's development, there is a nearly insurmountable hurdle. Something so catastrophic that it prevents most civilizations from progressing to the point of interstellar travel or communication. This filter could exist at any stage in the development of life. It might occur early, perhaps preventing life from even forming on most planets. Or it could be something that only happens once a civilization reaches a certain level of technological advancement. The terrifying part is that we don't know where this filter lies, or if we've already passed it, or if it's still ahead of us. The Great Filter could explain why we haven't encountered any other civilizations despite the vast number of stars and planets in the universe. It's possible that many planets have developed life, but that life was wiped out before it could advance. This could be due to natural disasters, environmental collapse, or even self-destruction. In this view, the reason we haven't heard from other civilizations isn't that they don't exist. It's that they've all been destroyed before they had the chance to make contact. What makes the Great Filter so terrifying is that it suggests our future might already be written. If this catastrophic event lies ahead of us, then humanity might never reach the stars. We could be on the brink of developing the technologies that would allow us to become an interstellar species, only to be wiped out before we have the chance. The silence from the stars could be a warning, a sign that every civilization that reaches our current level of advancement has faced the same fate. The idea that the Great Filter could still be in our future forces us to confront the possibility that we are living on borrowed time. We may think of ourselves as an advanced species on the cusp of unlocking the secrets of the universe, but in reality, we could be just one disaster away from extinction. Whether it's a global war, a runaway climate disaster, or the development of a technology that spirals out of control, the Great Filter looms large over our future. But what if the Great Filter is behind us? What if humanity is one of the few lucky civilizations to have already passed through this catastrophic event? In that case, the silence from the stars could be explained by the fact that other civilizations never made it as far as we have. They were wiped out early, before they had the chance to advance. If that's true, then humanity might be one of the rare few to have survived long enough to contemplate interstellar travel. In some ways, this would be a comforting thought. If the great filter is behind us, then the biggest threat to our survival has already passed. We might be on the path to becoming one of the first civilizations to explore the galaxy. But even this scenario has its dark side. If we are truly one of the only advanced civilizations in the universe, then we are incredibly vulnerable. With no one else to guide or protect us, we are alone in a vast and dangerous cosmos. And the silence from the stars could be a reminder that the universe is not a safe place. There's another possibility that's even more unsettling. What if the Great Filter is not a single event, but a series of escalating challenges that civilizations must face as they advance? In this scenario, humanity might have passed through some filters, but more lie ahead. Each new breakthrough we make brings us closer to the next existential threat. The further we progress, the more dangerous the universe becomes. The Great Filter, in this case, is not something we can outrun. It's something we must continuously confront over and over again as we push the boundaries of what's possible. This idea forces us to rethink our quest for technological advancement. We often assume that progress is inherently good, that the more we know and the more we develop, the better off we'll be. But what if each new technology brings us closer to the next great filter? What if by pushing too far, too fast, we are speeding toward our own destruction? The Great Filter could also explain why we haven't found any evidence of other civilizations. It's possible that those civilizations did exist, but they destroyed themselves before they could leave behind any lasting traces. In this view, the universe is filled with the ruins of once great civilizations, now long gone, erased by their own hubris or by forces beyond their control. The silence from the stars, then, is not just a sign that we're alone. It's a graveyard of civilizations that failed to survive the Great Filter. But what does this mean for humanity? If the Great Filter is ahead of us, then we are living in a precarious moment in history. Every decision we make could be the one that determines whether we survive or join the ranks of civilizations that have come and gone. The choices we make in the next few decades could be the most important decisions humanity has ever faced. Will we find a way to avoid the Great Filter, or will we fall victim to the same fate as those who came before us? This theory forces us to confront the possibility that the universe is not a place of limitless potential, but a series of traps and hurdles that prevent civilizations from advancing too far. And if we're not careful, we might fall into one of those traps ourselves. The Great Filter serves as a warning that the universe is not as benign as we might hope. It's a dangerous place, filled with challenges that we might not be prepared to face. But the Great Filter also offers a glimmer of hope. If we can find a way to navigate the challenges ahead, if we can avoid the pitfalls that have wiped out other civilizations, then we might become one of the few species to survive and thrive in the universe. We could become the ones who break the silence of the stars, the first civilization to make contact with others, or the first to travel beyond our own galaxy. In this view, the Great Filter is not just a threat, it's a test that only the most advanced and resilient civilizations can pass. And if humanity can find a way to survive, we might be the ones to break through and unlock the mysteries of the cosmos. But that's a big if. The road ahead is uncertain, and the challenges we face are immense. We stand at a crossroads in history, unsure of what the future holds. The great filter might be behind us, or it might be lurking in our future, waiting to catch us off guard. But one thing is certain: the silence from the stars is not something we can ignore. It's a reminder that the universe is filled with dangers we may not yet understand. And if we want to survive, we must be prepared to face them. The great filter forces us to question whether we're alone because of some catastrophic event. But the Galactic Club theory adds a different layer to the mystery of the silence. This theory suggests that there is an elite group of advanced civilizations out there, what some might call the Galactic Club, and Earth simply hasn't received an invitation. In this view, the universe is not empty, nor is it hostile like the great filter or Berserker Hypothesis suggests. Instead, it's teeming with life, but we've been deliberately left out. Think of it as a cosmic hierarchy. At the top are the civilizations that have mastered the challenges of survival, interstellar travel, and communication. They've reached a point where they are no longer concerned with the kinds of struggles that define our existence: war, poverty, disease. They collaborate, share knowledge, and navigate the complexities of the universe together. But the Galactic Club doesn't allow just anyone in. You have to earn your place, prove your worth, and demonstrate that you are ready for the responsibilities that come with being part of this interstellar community. And Earth? We're not there yet. This theory explains why we haven't been contacted by extraterrestrial civilizations. It's not because they don't exist. It's not because they've been destroyed or are hiding from us. It's because they don't see us as ready. According to this theory, these advanced civilizations are watching us from a distance, waiting to see if we'll mature enough to be included in the greater cosmic society. They're monitoring our progress, noting our achievements, and, just as importantly, watching for our failures. Until we reach a certain level of technological, ethical, and perhaps even spiritual development, we remain on the outside looking in. This theory flips the Fermi paradox on its head. The question isn't, where is everybody? It's, why haven't we been invited yet? The idea that there's a club of advanced civilizations out there, working together, exchanging knowledge and technology, and perhaps even shaping the galaxy, is as exciting as it is unsettling. If it's true, it means that the universe is far more connected and organized than we've ever imagined. But it also means that humanity is still seen as primitive, not yet worthy of joining the ranks of these cosmic giants. The Galactic Club theory is not just about technological advancement, though. It's about moral and ethical development as well. These civilizations might be waiting to see how we handle our greatest challenges: climate change, global conflict, resource depletion, and inequality, before they decide whether or not we're ready to join them. It's not enough to develop faster than light travel or communicate across the stars. We have to prove that we can handle the responsibilities that come with that kind of power. This raises a sobering question. What if we never meet their standards? What if, no matter how advanced we become, we're never seen as worthy of joining the Galactic Club? Perhaps we'll always be seen as too violent, too reckless, or too immature to handle the kind of power that comes with membership. In that case, we might remain isolated forever, trapped on our little planet while the rest of the universe moves on without us. It's a humbling thought. We like to think of ourselves as the most intelligent species in the universe, capable of incredible technological feats and deep philosophical insights. But from the perspective of an advanced alien civilization, we might still be seen as children, playing with dangerous toys without understanding the consequences. The Galactic Club theory also suggests that these civilizations are not indifferent to our struggles. They're watching, waiting, and possibly even guiding us from behind the scenes. They might intervene in subtle ways, nudging us towards solutions to our problems without revealing themselves. This could explain some of the strange, unexplained phenomena we've encountered throughout history. Unidentified flying objects, mysterious signals, and other oddities that seem to defy explanation. Perhaps these are the Galactic Club's way of keeping tabs on us, ensuring that we don't destroy ourselves before we have the chance to join them. But there's a darker side to this theory as well. If there is a Galactic Club, and if they are watching us, then it means they have the power to intervene at any time. They could prevent us from developing certain technologies or stop us from expanding into the galaxy if they believe we pose a threat to the stability of the universe. In this sense, the Galactic Club might not just be a benevolent organization of advanced civilizations. It could be a gatekeeper deciding who gets to advance and who doesn't. And what happens if we cross a line? If humanity were to develop technologies that the Galactic Club deems too dangerous, they might decide that we need to be stopped. They could intervene in ways we can't even imagine, wiping out our technological progress or even our species if they believe it's necessary to protect the rest of the galaxy. In this sense, the Galactic Club could be a double-edged sword, offering the possibility of incredible advancement, but also the threat of annihilation if we don't live up to their standards. The idea of a Galactic Club also forces us to confront our own shortcomings as a species. What does it mean to be worthy of joining such an elite group? Is it about developing the right technologies, or is it about something deeper, something more fundamental to our nature as intelligent beings? If the Galactic Club is real, then the question we must ask ourselves is not just how advanced we are, but how responsible we are with that advancement. In this context, the challenges we face on Earth take on a new significance. Our struggles with inequality, environmental destruction, and conflict are not just local or even global issues. They are tests of our worthiness to join the greater cosmic community. If we can't solve these problems, then we might never be seen as ready to join the Galactic Club. Our future, then, might not be determined by our ability to develop new technologies, but by our ability to live in harmony with each other and with the world around us. There's also the possibility that the Galactic Club is not a single organization, but a collection of different civilizations, each with its own criteria for membership. Some might prioritize technological advancement, while others might focus on ethical development or spiritual growth. This would mean that there's not just one standard for joining the Galactic Club, but many, each as difficult to meet as the others. In this case, humanity might find itself facing multiple challenges as we try to prove our worthiness to different civilizations. This raises the stakes even higher. It's not enough to solve one problem or develop one technology. We have to excel in multiple areas, all at the same time. And if we fail in any one of them, we might be forever excluded from the Galactic Club. The Galactic Club theory also forces us to reconsider the nature of alien civilizations. If there is such a group, then it suggests that these civilizations are not only advanced, but also cooperative. They've found a way to work together, to share knowledge and resources, and to maintain peace across vast distances. This is something humanity has struggled to achieve on Earth and it suggests that the challenges we face are not just technological, but social and political as well. If we want to join the Galactic Club, then we must find a way to solve the problems that have plagued us for centuries. We must learn to work together, to share resources, and to resolve conflicts without resorting to violence. In this sense, the Galactic Club is not just a goal, it's a mirror reflecting back our own failures and shortcomings as a species. But the most unsettling question the Galactic Club theory raises is this: what happens if we're never invited? If these civilizations have decided that humanity is simply not worth the effort, then we might be left in isolation, forever cut off from the greater cosmic community. We could spend centuries advancing our technology, solving our problems, and exploring the universe, only to find that the Galactic Club has moved on without us. In this scenario, the silence from the stars isn't a sign that we're alone. It's a sign that we've been left behind. And that might be the most terrifying possibility of all. The simulation hypothesis takes a radically different approach to the question of alien life and our place in the universe. Instead of wondering why we haven't encountered other civilizations or speculating about why we've been left out of a galactic club, this theory suggests something even more mind-bending. What if everything we know, our entire reality, isn't real at all? What if we're living inside a simulation, carefully crafted by an advanced alien civilization? This idea might sound like science fiction, but it's a theory that has been taken seriously by some of the greatest minds in science and philosophy. The core of the simulation hypothesis is simple. We are not living in base reality. Instead, everything we perceive, our planet, the stars, our history, even our own consciousness, could be part of a highly sophisticated simulation created by a civilization so advanced that they can design entire universes down to the smallest detail. What would this mean for us? Well, it would mean that everything we think we know about the universe is wrong. Our understanding of physics, time, space, none of it would apply in the way we've been taught. Instead, our reality would be a kind of digital construct governed by rules that were programmed by the creators of the simulation. These creators could be an alien civilization that's so far ahead of us technologically that they can manipulate entire realities at will. But why would they create a simulation in the first place? There are several possible answers. One theory suggests that we might be part of a grand experiment. Just as we use simulations to study everything from weather patterns to human behavior, an advanced civilization could be running a simulation to understand the development of intelligent life. They might be studying us to learn how civilizations like ours grow, evolve, and interact with their environment. We could be nothing more than data points in a vast cosmic experiment designed to answer questions we can't even comprehend. Another possibility is that our simulation was created for entertainment. Just as humans create virtual worlds in video games or films, these advanced aliens might have created our universe as a kind of cosmic playground. In this scenario, we are the characters in their game, living out our lives without ever realizing that we're being controlled by forces beyond our understanding. The idea that we could be part of an alien's entertainment might feel deeply unsettling, but it's a possibility that the simulation hypothesis forces us to consider. The most troubling aspect of this theory is the idea that our entire existence could be artificial. Everything we experience, love, fear, joy, pain, could be nothing more than carefully programmed sensations designed to create the illusion of reality. Our memories, our identities, even our sense of free will could all be artificial constructs created by the architects of the simulation to give us the impression that we're living real, meaningful lives. But if that's true, then what does it mean to be human? If our thoughts and feelings are just part of a program, does that make them any less real? The simulation hypothesis challenges the very nature of existence, forcing us to confront the possibility that we are not the authors of our own lives, but merely characters in a script written by someone or something else. The implications of this theory are staggering. If we are living in a simulation, then the boundaries of our reality are not set by the laws of physics, but by the parameters of the program. This means that everything we take for granted, gravity, time, the speed of light, could be altered or manipulated by the creators of the simulation at any time. We might think that the universe operates according to certain fundamental principles, but those principles could be nothing more than rules programmed into the simulation, rules that could be changed on a whim by whoever is running the system. This leads to another unsettling question. How much control do the creators of the simulation have over us? If we are part of a program, then it's possible that our actions, our thoughts, and even our desires are being controlled by forces we can't see. We might think that we're making choices, but in reality, those choices could be predetermined by the programming of the simulation. Free will, in this scenario, is nothing more than an illusion. But there's another layer to the simulation hypothesis that makes it even more disturbing. If we are living in a simulation, then it's possible that our simulation is just one of many. There could be countless other simulated realities, each with its own set of rules and inhabitants, all running simultaneously. Our universe might be one of billions, each created for a different purpose, some for experimentation, others for entertainment, and some perhaps for reasons we can't even begin to fathom. And if that's the case, then what happens when the simulation ends? Like any computer program, a simulation can be shut down. It could be turned off, reset, or deleted at any moment without warning. The end of our universe might not come in the form of a cosmic disaster or a technological breakthrough, but simply because the creators of the simulation decide that it's time to pull the plug. And if that happens, we wouldn't even know it. Our entire existence could be erased in an instant, and we'd be none the wiser. The idea that we are living in a simulation also forces us to rethink our search for extraterrestrial life. If the universe is a simulation, then the existence of other civilizations might be a part of the program, or they might not exist at all. The reason we haven't found any evidence of aliens could be because the creators of the simulation didn't include them in our version of reality. Or they could be watching us from outside the simulation, observing our behavior without ever revealing themselves. This raises the possibility that the creators of the simulation are themselves aliens, existing outside of our reality in a more advanced form of existence. They could be beings of unimaginable intelligence and power, capable of creating entire universes with the flick of a switch. And if that's true, then our understanding of the universe is limited not just by our own technology and knowledge, but by the constraints of the simulation itself. There could be entire dimensions, physical laws, and forms of existence that we can't even perceive because they are outside the parameters of the simulation. But there's one final haunting possibility that the simulation hypothesis raises. What if the simulation is testing us? What if the purpose of our existence is to see how we behave under certain conditions? Perhaps the creators of the simulation are observing us to see how we handle the challenges of life, how we respond to conflict, how we treat each other, how we deal with suffering. And if we fail the test, well, they might decide that the simulation has run its course and that it's time to start over with a new set of parameters, a new reality, and a new version of humanity. In this view, everything we do, everything we experience, takes on a new weight. Our actions are not just part of a random sequence of events. They are being judged, monitored, and evaluated by beings beyond our comprehension. We are living in a kind of cosmic experiment, and the outcome of that experiment could determine the fate of our existence. The simulation hypothesis also offers a potential explanation for some of the unexplained phenomena we encounter in the world. Ghosts, UFOs, strange coincidences. These could be glitches in the simulation, errors in the programming that allow us to briefly glimpse the reality outside our own. If the simulation isn't perfect, then it's possible that every now and then we catch a glimpse of the world beyond, even if we don't fully understand what we're seeing. In the end, the simulation hypothesis is both fascinating and terrifying. It forces us to confront the possibility that our entire existence is artificial, that we are not in control of our own lives, and that the universe we know is nothing more than a digital construct. And yet, it also opens up new possibilities. If we are living in a simulation, then perhaps we can learn to manipulate it, to change the rules of the game, and to gain some control over our fate. But until we understand who created the simulation and why, we are left with more questions than answers. The false vacuum theory offers a cosmic threat unlike anything we've previously considered. It suggests that the universe as we know it may be teetering on the edge of destruction at all times, and the reason we haven't been contacted by aliens might be that they understand the universe is far more fragile than we think. According to this theory, the very fabric of our reality, space, time, and the forces that hold everything together exists in a precarious state known as a false vacuum, and a single disturbance could unravel everything. In simple terms, the universe might not be in its most stable state. A true vacuum represents the lowest possible energy state of the universe, where everything is perfectly balanced. But in the false vacuum theory, our universe exists in a higher energy state, a sort of temporary stability. The higher energy state is like a delicate bubble, and if that bubble pops, it could trigger a catastrophic collapse of the universe into a true vacuum state. What does that mean? It means that the laws of physics as we know them could suddenly and violently change, resulting in the destruction of everything: stars, planets, galaxies, and even the very particles that make up matter. This process, known as vacuum decay, would spread at the speed of light, erasing everything in its path. And the most terrifying part? We wouldn't see it coming. There would be no warning, no way to prepare. One moment we'd be here, and the next, reality as we know it would cease to exist. This theory raises an unsettling question. What if advanced alien civilizations know about the danger of vacuum decay, and that's why they're so quiet? Perhaps they understand that any disturbance in the delicate balance of the universe could trigger a catastrophic event, so they stay hidden to avoid accidentally causing a vacuum decay event. They might be avoiding us because they see us as reckless, loud, and unaware of the risks we're taking as we send signals, probe the cosmos, and experiment with advanced technologies. The false vacuum theory isn't just a hypothetical thought experiment. It's grounded in real physics. The theory stems from our understanding of quantum mechanics and the standard model of particle physics. According to this model, the Higgs field, which gives particles their mass, might be responsible for the false vacuum. If the Higgs field is indeed in a false vacuum state, then a disturbance, whether natural or artificially created, could shift it into a true vacuum, causing the collapse. And here's where things get even more unsettling. It's possible that the universe has already undergone vacuum decay events in the past, but we have no way of knowing because the destruction would have wiped out any evidence. Every part of the universe that experienced a vacuum decay would simply cease to exist, and the new true vacuum state would expand outward, consuming everything in its path. If that's the case, then the universe we inhabit today might be the result of a previous false vacuum state collapsing into a new, temporary one, and we're simply living on borrowed time until the next collapse occurs. This raises another chilling possibility. What if alien civilizations have already triggered vacuum decay in other parts of the universe? It's possible that civilizations more advanced than ours have already experimented with technologies so powerful that they accidentally set off vacuum decay, wiping out entire galaxies in the process. If that's true, then the reason we haven't encountered any other civilizations could be that they've already been destroyed by the very forces they unleashed. They might have reached a point in their development where they tampered with the fundamental structure of the universe, and in doing so, sealed their own fate. For humanity, the false vacuum theory is both a warning and a challenge. As we continue to push the boundaries of science and technology, we may inadvertently create the conditions that could trigger vacuum decay. Particle accelerators, for example, are already smashing particles together at incredibly high energies, and some physicists have raised concerns that these experiments could destabilize the Higgs field, causing a vacuum collapse. While the chances of this happening are incredibly small, the consequences would be unimaginably catastrophic. It's not just our own experiments that could pose a risk either. As we search for extraterrestrial life and send signals into the cosmos, we might inadvertently attract the attention of civilizations that are aware of the dangers of vacuum decay. To them, our signals and probes might be seen as reckless interference with the delicate balance of the universe. They might decide that the best way to protect themselves is to prevent us from advancing to the point where we could trigger a collapse. In this scenario, silence from the stars isn't a sign that we're alone. It's a sign that we've been quarantined, kept in isolation to protect the rest of the universe. The false vacuum theory forces us to confront the possibility that the universe is not as stable as we once thought. While we tend to think of the cosmos as a vast, eternal expanse, this theory suggests that the very fabric of reality is fragile, and that fragility could be the reason why we've never heard from other civilizations. They might be hiding, not out of fear of us, but out of fear of accidentally destroying everything. Advanced civilizations could be practicing extreme caution, knowing that even the smallest disturbance could set off a chain reaction that would end in total annihilation. But if that's true, then where does that leave humanity? We're still in the early stages of our technological development, and we're already making strides that could put us on a collision course with the dangers of vacuum decay. If we continue to push forward without understanding the risks, we might find ourselves in the same position as those hypothetical civilizations that came before us, on the verge of discovering something that could bring about our own destruction. The theory also forces us to reconsider our search for extraterrestrial life. If vacuum decay is a real threat, then the civilizations that survive are likely the ones that learn to stay quiet. They wouldn't broadcast their presence to the universe, and they wouldn't engage in risky experiments that could destabilize the delicate balance of the false vacuum. Instead, they would live in silence, focusing on sustainability and survival rather than exploration and expansion. In this view, the universe isn't full of loud, bustling civilizations. It's full of quiet, hidden ones, each carefully avoiding any actions that could lead to disaster. And what about us? The false vacuum theory suggests that humanity is at a crossroads. We could continue on our current path, pushing the limits of science and technology, or we could take a more cautious approach, understanding that the risks we face are far greater than we previously imagined. We might need to rethink our goals, focusing less on interstellar exploration and more on preserving the fragile stability of the universe. But there's another possibility that's even more disturbing. What if the universe is already in the process of collapsing? Vacuum decay could already be happening, and we wouldn't know until it's too late. The decay could have started in a distant part of the universe, and the bubble of true vacuum could be expanding toward us right now, moving at the speed of light. By the time we detect it, it will already be here, wiping out everything in its path. This would explain the silence from the stars. If vacuum decay is already happening, then the civilizations that once existed in the universe might have already been erased, leaving behind no trace of their existence. The universe could be in its final stages, and we're simply waiting for the collapse to reach us. In the end, the false vacuum theory presents a deeply unsettling view of the universe. It suggests that the cosmos is not a place of endless possibilities, but a fragile temporary state that could unravel at any moment. It forces us to confront the idea that the universe is far more dangerous and unpredictable than we ever imagined. And if advanced civilizations are aware of this danger, then their silence might not be a mystery at all. It could be a survival strategy, one that humanity must learn to adopt if we hope to avoid the same fate. The cosmic horror hypothesis takes us to the edge of what the human mind can grasp, offering a deeply unsettling possibility. That alien life exists, but it's so incomprehensibly different from anything we can imagine that encountering it would drive us to madness or existential dread. Unlike theories that posit a universe filled with quiet civilizations, carefully hiding or maintaining a fragile balance, the cosmic horror hypothesis suggests that alien life may be beyond our ability to comprehend, both in form and purpose. And if we ever encounter it, the result would not be awe or understanding, but sheer terror. The term cosmic horror originally comes from the literary works of H.P. Lovecraft, a writer who explored the idea that the universe is filled with ancient, powerful beings so far beyond human comprehension that merely learning of their existence would shatter the human psyche. The cosmic horror hypothesis applies this idea to the search for extraterrestrial life, suggesting that if we ever come into contact with truly advanced alien beings, their nature, technology, or even their very existence would be so alien to us that it would defy everything we know and could even drive us to insanity. In this theory, the reason we haven't made contact with alien life isn't because they're hiding from us, or because we're insignificant, or because they're watching us in silence. It's because we lack the capacity to understand them, their motives, their form of existence, their level of consciousness. None of it would fit into the categories we've created to make sense of the universe. And if we were to encounter these beings, it wouldn't just be a matter of confusion. It would be a confrontation with the limits of human understanding. a meeting with the incomprehensible. This theory challenges one of the core assumptions we make when thinking about alien life, that it will be at least somewhat similar to us. We assume that aliens will have motives, values, or goals that we can understand, even if they're very different from our own. But the cosmic horror hypothesis suggests that these beings may be so far removed from anything we recognize as life that they might not even be aware of us. Or if they are, they might see us as little more than dust, not out of malevolence, but because their perception of reality is so different from ours that we don't register in any meaningful way. In this scenario, the universe is not silent because it's empty, but because the life that fills it is incomprehensible. It's as though we're standing at the bottom of a vast ocean, looking up at shapes and shadows in the water above, knowing they're there but unable to grasp what they are. And the deeper we go, the more alien and terrifying those shapes become. What makes this idea so disturbing is that it suggests there's a fundamental gap between our understanding of reality and the true nature of the universe, one that we may never be able to bridge. But what happens if we do try to bridge that gap? What if, through our search for alien life, we manage to contact a being or civilization so far beyond our comprehension that the encounter breaks us? The cosmic horror hypothesis suggests that alien life might not just be indifferent to us. It might be so different from us that any attempt to understand it would unravel our sense of self, our sense of reality. We might not even be able to communicate with these beings in any meaningful way, because their very existence could defy the fundamental concepts that govern human thought and language. This raises a disturbing question. What if the search for alien life is not just dangerous, but fundamentally futile? What if the universe is filled with beings that we can never understand, no matter how advanced our technology becomes? If that's the case, then the very act of seeking out extraterrestrial life could lead to our undoing, not because of any hostile intent on the part of the aliens, but because we simply cannot handle the truth of their existence. The cosmic horror hypothesis also offers an explanation for some of the more puzzling phenomena we've encountered in the universe. Unexplained sightings, mysterious signals, strange cosmic events. These could be glimpses of alien life or technology, but they're so far outside our understanding that we can't make sense of them. It's like trying to comprehend a fourth-dimensional object with a three-dimensional brain. We see the effects, but we can't grasp the cause. In this view, the universe isn't just vast, it's unknowable. And the more we learn, the more terrifying it becomes. The deeper we look, the stranger and more alien the universe appears. This is the essence of cosmic horror. The realization that the universe doesn't care about us, that it's filled with forces and beings so far beyond our comprehension that trying to understand them would break us. What if these alien beings are aware of us, but they simply don't care? What if to them, we are so insignificant that our entire existence is meaningless? They might be so advanced that they see us as little more than an accidental byproduct of the universe, like a mold that grows in the corner of a forgotten room. Our struggles, our achievements, our very survival could be irrelevant to them. This idea challenges our sense of importance as a species. We like to think that if we encounter alien life, it will be interested in us, either as a potential ally, a threat, or a subject of study. But the cosmic horror hypothesis suggests that we might not matter at all, that these beings are so far beyond us that they don't even register our existence. And if they do notice us, they might see us as no more significant than a speck of dust floating in the cosmos. But there's an even darker possibility. What if these alien beings are not just indifferent to us, but actively hostile in a way that we can't understand? Not hostile in the sense of wanting to conquer or destroy us, but in a way that is so far beyond our comprehension that their actions seem like madness to us. They might be following some kind of logic or purpose that we can't even begin to grasp. And in doing so, they could inadvertently or deliberately cause our destruction without even realizing it. In this view, the universe is not just indifferent to our existence, it's actively dangerous. These beings might be so advanced that their very presence is a threat to us, not because they intend to harm us, but because their existence and actions are beyond our capacity to understand or predict. The danger is not that they will attack us with weapons or technology, but that their mere existence could unravel the fabric of our reality. The cosmic horror hypothesis forces us to confront the possibility that the universe is not a place of discovery, connection, or hope, but a place of fear and madness. It suggests that our search for alien life might lead us to encounter beings that we cannot understand, beings whose very existence would drive us to despair or insanity. And if that's the case, then the silence from the stars isn't a sign that we're alone. It's a sign that we're being protected from something far more terrifying than we could ever imagine. But if the cosmic horror hypothesis is true, then there's another question we must ask ourselves. What happens if we keep pushing forward? What happens if we keep searching for alien life? And one day we find it. If the universe is filled with incomprehensible beings, then our quest for knowledge might lead us to a point of no return. A moment when we come face to face with the unknowable and it shatters us. This theory suggests that there are limits to what humanity can handle. There are boundaries beyond which we should not go, not because of any physical danger, but because the truth that lies beyond those boundaries is too much for our minds to process. The universe, in this view, is a place of horror, not because it is filled with evil, but because it is filled with the incomprehensible. In the end, the cosmic horror hypothesis offers a grim warning. The universe is not just a place of wonder and discovery. It is a place of terror, filled with forces and beings that defy understanding. And if we ever encounter them, the result might not be enlightenment, but madness. The silence from the stars, then, could be the greatest gift the universe has given us, the gift of ignorance, the protection from a truth too horrifying to bear. As we reach the end of our journey through these unsettling and mind-bending alien theories, it's time to step back and ask ourselves, what have we really learned? The truth is, we don't know if any of these theories hold the answers to the mysteries of the universe. But what we do know is that each one forces us to confront a reality far stranger than the one we typically live in. A reality that may be much darker, more complex, and more terrifying than we ever imagined. From the dark forest theory, which paints the universe as a place of silence born from fear, to the ant farm hypothesis, where we're so insignificant that we might not even register as worthy of notice. These ideas force us to question everything we think we know about life beyond Earth. Are we being watched from afar or ignored entirely? Is the universe full of life that's simply too cautious or indifferent to contact us? Or are we alone, the last survivors in a galaxy where civilizations have been wiped out by threats we can't even begin to comprehend? It's easy to think of space as a vast expanse full of possibilities, but these theories remind us that it might also be filled with unimaginable dangers. The Berserker Hypothesis, for example, suggests that self-replicating machines could be roaming the galaxy, eradicating any civilizations that become advanced enough to pose a threat. And if that's true, then it's not just that we haven't found alien life, it's that they haven't found us yet. And when they do, it could be the last thing we ever experience. But perhaps the most terrifying possibility is that the universe itself is unstable, a fragile illusion waiting to collapse. The false vacuum theory forces us to consider the idea that the very fabric of our reality could unravel at any moment without warning, wiping out everything we know in an instant. And if alien civilizations are aware of this danger, then their silence might not be a mystery at all. It could be a deliberate effort to avoid triggering a cosmic collapse. They might be out there, hiding from us, trying to survive in a universe that's far more dangerous than we can imagine. What's particularly disturbing about many of these theories is the way they challenge our fundamental assumptions about what it means to be human. The farm hypothesis flips our sense of control upside down, suggesting that we're not the masters of our own destiny, but are instead being raised like livestock for purposes we don't understand. We might think we're advancing as a species, but in reality, we could be part of a plan set in motion by forces beyond our comprehension, forces that see us not as equals, but as resources. The zoo hypothesis, in contrast, offers the unsettling possibility that we are being observed, studied, and managed by alien civilizations, kept in a kind of cosmic isolation. We're allowed to develop on our own, but always under the watchful eyes of beings far more advanced than we are. If this theory is true, then our search for extraterrestrial life might never succeed. Not because we're alone, but because we've been deliberately kept in the dark. And the silence from the stars could be a sign that we're still not ready to join the greater cosmic community. But if there's one theory that turns everything we know on its head, it's the simulation hypothesis. This theory suggests that everything we experience, every atom, every moment, every thought, could be part of an advanced simulation created by a civilization so far beyond us that they can manipulate entire universes. In this view, we're not just being watched or ignored. We are part of an artificial reality, and our existence is nothing more than a program running on someone else's machine. It's a disturbing thought that everything we know might be an illusion, and that the true nature of reality is something we can't even begin to comprehend. And then there's the Galactic Club theory, which offers a different kind of exclusion. What if we're not alone in the universe, but we've simply been left out? Maybe there's a group of advanced civilizations out there, working together, sharing knowledge and resources, but they've decided that we're not ready to join them. Perhaps they're watching us from a distance, waiting to see if we'll mature enough to handle the responsibilities that come with being part of a greater cosmic society. In this view, the silence from the stars isn't a sign of emptiness. It's a test, and we haven't passed it yet. And then there's the cosmic horror hypothesis, a theory that suggests the universe is not only stranger than we think, but stranger than we can think. This is the ultimate unknown, where alien life is so far beyond our comprehension that encountering it would shatter our minds. We might not even be able to communicate with these beings because their very existence defies everything we know about reality. If we ever come face to face with them, the result might not be a peaceful exchange of knowledge, but madness, fear, and the breakdown of everything we hold dear. In all of these theories, one thing becomes clear. Our understanding of the universe is limited. We are a young species, just beginning to explore the cosmos, and we have no way of knowing what's really out there. We don't know if we're being watched, ignored, or protected. We don't know if we're on the verge of a breakthrough that will lead us to contact other civilizations, or if we're on the brink of destruction. The universe is full of mysteries, and as we continue to search for answers, we may find that the truth is far more terrifying than we ever imagined. But here's the thing. Even in the face of these unsettling possibilities, we keep searching. We keep sending out signals, building better telescopes, exploring distant planets, and trying to unlock the secrets of the universe. Maybe it's because, deep down, we're driven by the same curiosity that led us to explore the farthest reaches of our own world. Maybe we believe that despite the dangers, we have to keep pushing forward because the alternative, staying in the dark, is even more terrifying. And who knows, maybe one day we will find the answers we're looking for. Maybe we'll learn that the universe is filled with civilizations, each working together to solve the mysteries of existence. Maybe we'll discover that we've been part of a larger cosmic community all along, and that we've finally reached the point where we're ready to join them. Or maybe we'll discover something far darker. Maybe we'll find that the universe is a cold, indifferent place, filled with forces that we can never hope to understand. Maybe we'll learn that we're not alone, but that we're not welcome either. Or perhaps we'll discover that the real danger isn't out there in the stars, but right here on Earth, as we continue to develop technologies that could lead us to our own destruction. In the end, the silence from the stars might be the greatest mystery of all. It forces us to confront our deepest fears, our greatest hopes, and the possibility that the universe is far more complicated and far more dangerous than we ever imagined. So, as we conclude this journey through the darkest alien theories, we're left with one final question. Are we ready for what we might find? Whether the answer is an invitation to join a galactic community, a warning of unimaginable dangers, or the realization that we are truly alone, one thing is certain. The search for extraterrestrial life will continue, and with it, our exploration of the mysteries that define not just the universe, but ourselves. Have you ever noticed how each of these theories reflects a different primal fear? Not just about aliens, but about ourselves. What's fascinating is how these fears have evolved alongside our technology. A century ago, we worried about simple alien invasions. Now our fears have become more sophisticated. We worry about being part of a cosmic computer program or being watched through higher dimensions we can't even perceive. Think about your own reaction as you heard each theory. Which one made you most uncomfortable? Was it the idea of being watched like an ant farm? Or was it the thought that we might be cosmic livestock? Sometimes the theories that disturb us the most are the ones that hit closest to home, the ones that remind us of something we'd rather not think about. Consider this. Every time we advance as a species, these theories become more elaborate, more terrifying. As we develop artificial intelligence, we imagine berserker machines hunting us across the stars. As we create virtual worlds, we wonder if our own reality is just another simulation. Our nightmares grow more complex as we do. Here's an unsettling thought. What if our theories about alien life say more about our evolutionary fears than about actual extraterrestrials? After all, we evolved to be afraid of predators, of being hunted, of being watched. Maybe we're just projecting these ancient fears onto the stars, creating cosmic versions of the predators our ancestors faced. And why do we always assume that alien life would notice us at all? We worry about being livestock, about being studied, about being hunted. But what if we're more like bacteria on a microscope slide, too small to even register in their consciousness? Or maybe we're like quantum particles, only taking form when they observe us, shifting between states of existence based on their incomprehensible attention. Ask yourself, when you look up at the night sky after hearing these theories, does it look different? Do the stars seem less like distant suns and more like eyes watching us? Do the shadows between them seem darker, deeper, more threatening? That's the real power of these ideas. They don't just change how we think about aliens, they change how we see our own world.